corner. The debate corner.
The next thing is for the advocates to introduce themselves. So, advocate number one, you got the microphone. Could you please let us know your name and a tiny little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone, good evening. Happy Jamaican Independence. I'm Emotional. I go by the name of Emotional. My name is Tash, but I go by the name of Emotional. You can find me on all social platforms as Transparency with Fire, all Emotional. And I have a TikTok live starting this Saturday at 9 PM for men and women to talk about healthy relationships.
Thank you. You can clap, yep. That's nice.
Hi, my name is Ashley. I go by the name of CHALYSE. On my social networks, I'm on quite a few of them, but I've got different names with all of them. But main one for Instagram is CHALYSE2. What do I do in my spare time? I do blogging and I work for children's services.
Hi, I'm TAMARA and I work in the entertainment industry, and also I am studying positive psychology, neuroscience and ADHD, and I'm a life coach, and hopefully today we can bring some good stuff into the show or into the debate corner. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kadesh, also known as DJ Conspiracy. I'm a DJ, event coordinator, run a few things on the side, plus I work in product management for Samsung, so I look after the UK in terms of smartphones, and I have a few blogs and also podcasts as well on the side.
Yo, my name's Creeper Crisis, stage name, music name, rap name, all of that, but everyone can address me as Anton. I think it's much easier. But yeah, podcasts, rap here and there, don't do it as much, it's more like an outlet, you know, a form of therapy. But yeah man, Creeper Crisis and Anton. Big up everyone inside that come to see me as well, all my peoples there, love.
Do people use mental health or rum as an excuse for bad behaviour?
I walked into that one. Yes, I think they do. I think mental health is a real issue, and I think that a lot of people are going through, are struggling with their mental health. A lot of people, because of today's climate, society, the different issues. I think that like the family dynamics are just alone, apart from the financial economy and stuff like that, is like at its worst. I think from my years on this earth. But I think that when you see people going around saying, oh, it's my mental health, like people that's struggling with mental health don't say, oh, it's my mental health. Let's be real. And a lot of people are saying that they're doing things or spazzing out on people or doing things wrong, and then they think that they can say, oh, it's my mental health, and they use that. So I definitely think that they use mental health and rum as an excuse for bad behavior.
Thank you.
I also agree. I feel like people, or certain people, can kind of be like, they don't take accountability enough. And I feel like it's alright in this today's society to be like, okay, if I throw out, I've got mental health, I kind of get a blind with it. And I feel like it's not enough for you to get a blind. If you want a rational think, everybody rational thinks. If you're feeling a certain way about something and you're going to impulse on that, cool. But don't then use and say that because I've got mental health is the reason why I did it. I don't think it's enough accountability for you to take in that way to say, well, yeah, that's the reason why I've done it, because I was feeling pissed off today. You know what, I've had this and that going on in my life, so yeah, I just punched him in the face. It's like, no, you can't do things like that. It's not enough. Everybody, the many times I can count on my fingers how many times I want to punch someone in the face, but I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? So I feel for me, it goes both ways, but I'm going to take it on the side of, yeah, you can't use that as an excuse.
The answer to that is 100% yes. The other side of things is what's really mental health for people. That's another one. A lot of people say, yeah, I've got these issues, or I've been in the past scarred by family matters, circumstances, choices, or just anything that that's happening for them right now. Is it really mental health, what is it? That's the definition. I think that's something that we need to look into. There is a massive imbalance on what's going on family matters, and there's also a massive imbalance what is happening on relationships. So people are actually putting a lot of things on themselves on the second stage of life. So apart from thinking, yes, I do have mental health conditions, or you want to really notify the whole world that you do have that issue, instead of notifying the whole world, how about making something out of the issue and asking for help through therapy, coaching, going to places like this where you can actually express yourself, you can ask for an opinion, and then even connecting with people that can actually help you. Yes, there is a massive, I mean, I'm not from this country, and I don't think I've seen so much mental health that I've seen, especially in London. Is unbelievable. So yeah, the answer to that is yes, but ask for help, because it doesn't cost anything more than say, I need some help. And you should feel vulnerable, but being vulnerable is a good thing. So just don't, you're not on your own. All of us have an issue.
So for me, a part of the issue is understanding what mental health is. I think by definition, there's a lot of people that can't actually substantiate it, actually understand exactly what it is. I've experienced people, close loved ones, etc., with mental health challenges who end up in Maudsley Hospital in Denmark Hill, at King's College, or at Lewisham Centre or whatever. Those are people with mental health. Those are people I went and checked for. What's unfortunate is that there's not a lot of mental strength. That's what it is, a mental fortitude. There's not enough brotherhoods and sisterhoods, people that can help you, or even the nuclear family's been destroyed in a massive way where you can go and seek an older for guidance in something that you're finding a challenge in life, right? And because of that, people are not understanding. I'm a man, right? Today I've been angry. I'll be real. Today I woke up angry today. I went to an office. I got racially profiled by police, right? Near my own office, right? I wanted to lick over the police officer. Held my fist. I was like, what are you doing? Are you mad? Right? I literally said, Google me. I work for Samsung, right? Literally, they tried to say I was stealing. I was angry. But you know what, mental strength and fortitude, even though there's other things where I could have easily wanted to lick off his face and end up locked up tonight, because I've got mental strength and I've learned that fortitude, enabled me not to erratically actually respond to the police officers. So we need those kind of things. We need brotherhood, sisterhoods, friends, guidance, uncles, grandparents, amongst other things, to help you go through these mental challenges which you're going through at this present moment in time. And also, like I was saying, people just need to have an actual real understanding of what mental health challenges are, to be able to actually speak about it, because it's really easy for someone to turn around and say, yo, I'm dyslexic as a joke, or banter. Know what you're saying, know what you're putting into your soul. You understand? And that's it.
I'm gonna echo what you said, because I actually agree. Like, a lot of it is accountability. I want to do something. Time. Jay, Bobby, yeah? Did you hear me, Bobby? Yeah? Remember the word knowing, yeah? Remember the word learning, and remember the word understanding. So knowing, right, from the age of 5, it's how the frontal cortex works. So from the age of 5 to 15, you're growing and knowing yourself. From the age of 15 to 25, you're growing and, right, from the age of 25 to 50, you're growing and understanding yourself. And when you understand yourself and how the frontal cortex works, it's an accountability on you first. Because a lot of people, they tell their story like 97% of police calls, they're the victim. Or like only 3% of society tell the story as they're telling on themselves, like, I've done something I can't live with. So sometimes when people come and tell you a story, you gotta read between the lines of what they're telling you. Are they telling you from someone that's coming from a genuine, they want you to know the start, middle and end, or are they just telling you direct as the victim and they want you to sympathize with them? Do you know, like, to me, can't lie to yourself. Folks, I know you know this one. We played Crash Bandicoot growing up, yeah? And when he span in a circle, we knew he was rendering because the other part of the level hadn't loaded up. That's what a lie is in your head. You can't get your words out because you're lying to yourself. You always got to be real with yourself. And I think that plays a part in mental health when people are not taking accountability for themselves and taking ownership of their behavior. Because it starts with you. Like today, what you said, I wouldn't have left my house. Because my boy said to me one thing one time, he said, Creeps, if you're angry, you leave your house and you get into an ism, only you knew how you felt before you left your house. Nobody else on the street knew, you know. So it starts with me. And I think people sleep on that part of mental health. Yeah.
100% agree with what you guys said. I think when it comes to mental health in this country as well, I realize, because growing up in Jamaica, those things, you just have to go through the hard times, yeah? You have to go through the hard times, and when we say mental health, remember, mental health is a thing what everyone has. It's not a thing, it's only some people, it's everyone. Mental health could be anxiety, it could be stressful day, it could be stress, it could be depression, it could be so many things what mental health is. And as we know, as humans, we all go through all of those emotions at some point, yeah? We're anxious people. We're always gonna have anxiety. And it's how you deal with your anxiety, it's how you deal with stress. And I think in this country, because you're anxious, that's it, people think it's a disability. They'll say, oh, I've got anxiety, so that's it, that means I can't do nothing, yeah? Oh, I'm depressed, so that means I can't do nothing again. And I think in this country, people use that as an excuse to hold themselves back, yeah? I see it all the time, because, you know, I do housing, where I house people from registered care into so they can integrate back into residential living, right? So they come from like Motley. So those people are suffering from real serious mental health. Some people's come from burning down houses. There's been murder cases. You know, people really struggling with their mental health. And it's helping them integrate back into society, and it's not been easy for them. So when I go around, I see some people complaining about the hard day that they had at work, and they need to quit because the boss was too hard on them. Or, you know, they're complaining because they don't have the car that one have, so they're suffering from anxiety. I'm like, come on man, wake up, yeah? And this is UK. The people over here are too soft mentally. And everybody over here is using mental health as a massive excuse so they can go to their doctor and the doctor sign them off 6 weeks off work, 90 days off work for foolishness. Yeah? And as the question says, do people use mental health as an excuse? Yes, they do. 100%. That's me.
I do agree with everyone on the panel actually. But our party grew up in Grenada, Caribbean. And funny enough, like, when you said someone had mental health, you'll be like someone that's walking.
Can I ask you a little favor? Can we see your eyes?
You want to see my eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I grew up in Grenada. Mental health, like I would say even before 2000, was someone that generally you could see had a problem. Whether it was like with speech or the way they walked or the way they moved or their understanding. I don't know what happened maybe like early 2000s, say around 2010, but two words that kind of blew up was like this word narcissistic and mental health. It's like, if you can't spell, all of a sudden you're dyslexic. It's like, you just can't spell. Like, you didn't learn enough. You can't do math, you didn't learn enough. But now everyone just got something to blame on. And I think like, especially in London, because I wouldn't even say like outskirts is the same. I think more in London, people just got an excuse for everything. And like you were saying, they want to run to the GP, get signed off, and then they get the permission to be at home, not work, or look after the kids, or whatever the case may be. And I think that the people that really suffer with mental health don't get seen to now because there's so much queues for people that need to get seen to, but people that are just lazy to do the things properly. Now it's a real problem, and it's never going to get dealt with. That's my opinion.
There's a lot of money being made because of mental health. So you've seen the word being thrown around a lot. It's actually fundamentally, it's actually to prop up and create another business and revenue stream. And then another thing is one thing that I learned when I was younger, and there's a difference between a cow and a bull. There's a tornado coming, right? Now that's stress, that could be finances, that could be a million of different things, right? Partner problems, whatever that may be. Differences with a cow's gonna stay there and get swept up by the tornado. Where the bull in other perspective will actually rush to it, realize that it's actually not that bad, and the grass is actually nicer on the other end. So when you see through it, sometimes you can't do it by yourself. Grab someone that genuinely loves you and checks for you, you understand? and let them go through that tornado with you, because when you get to the other side, you're a stronger human being and the grass is even sweeter than before.
What we got to realise is the society we live in breeds a certain type of sickness. Your devices, the chemical warfare on you, the mental warfare on you, the spiritual warfare on you. Do you know what I mean? Your whole environment, the right angles and the concrete, the lack of trees, greenery, wildlife, natural sounds, natural food, the lack of community elders, council groups of elders and whatever. Your mum and your dad not having the skills to deal with the environment, so they can't pass on. There's no transferable skills getting passed on. Our kids are being born without the ability to solve their own problems, because we're in a society where if I've got a problem with my brother, I'm going to call the police. If I've got a problem with my son, I'm going to call the social workers. If I've got a problem with my leg, I'm going to go to the doctors, not my mom or my... Do you understand what I'm saying? So we can't solve our own issues on multiple different levels. And this is driving people mad because they don't realise it. They don't realise how far removed from nature they are. The last natural thing they probably did was come out of their mum. And everything after that, vitamin K, this, that, take this vaccine, red, talcum powder, everything is done. All of these things are unnatural and they cause sicknesses in us as beings. So when I look in society, yeah, there's a lot of people that are making it up, but it's mad because there are also people that don't know how to deal with high stress situations and there's no one to teach them. Where'd you learn that? Where'd you learn that? Like, do you know what I mean? Where'd you learn that the best things in life come free? Like, truly, like, where'd you learn not to be red-eye when we're living in a materialistic society? How are you gonna learn that? So of course you're gonna feel that you're getting without, and then we have the placebo or the ability to speak to our own being. So we can tell it that we're ill, we can tell it that we're well, we can tell it we're strong, we can tell it we're weak. And a lot of the time, the rhetoric of saying that we are weak is what's popular now. It's kind of like a stripe, like someone mentioned, to say, oh yeah, you know what, true man's dyslexic still, true man's got ADHD, true man. And not to say that you're not different. I like the term neurodivergent, I do like that term. You're different, we're all different. But the label is some umbrella thing. 10 years ago you were schizophrenic. Now you got dissociative personality disorder. Tomorrow it's going to be something else. You go to Africa, they give you a route and they say, yeah, my man's the oracle. You get me? He's the oracle. Oh, you had a dream, go to my man. There's a place in our societies for different type of thinking people and different behaving people. So yeah, but yeah, deep down I think a lot of people are using an excuse. You know, a lot of sisters use the anxiety thing for not being able to learn the conflict resolution problems. A lot of brothers use, you know, oh, you know, I went through this and I went through that, to excuse not being able to like manage their anger or their testosterone. You know what I mean? And really and truly, it's more to do with society than the individuals in society. So you lot be like easy on yourselves. Try to teach each other and your kids to be robust. That's the main thing, you know. Teach them to be robust. Yeah? Yes, it is corned beef and rice tonight, and you're not gonna be going mental because you can't afford to go to Deliveroo or whatever. No, you're not gonna get this and you're not gonna get that. I don't care if Johnny and Tyrell has got it. You know, like basic things, you know what I mean? Send your kids. Listen, I'm planning to send my kids out with holes in their trainers. I'm gonna cut holes in their trainers, because I thought about it the other day. You got like 3 pairs of Nikes and all that. You don't know, your dad used to walk around and have to beat people up because they dared to point out the fact that I had a hole in my ankle. How dare you notice that and say it out loud? We need to be more robust. For a long time ago, we stopped the boys fighting. We stopped the boys fighting. In fact, we stopped the girls fighting. We stopped that natural expression of anger, and we demonized it. Rather than looked at it, we made it seem that if you had those natural responses like you had, big man, I don't think you would have been wrong. I don't think it's wrong to beat up the policeman. I don't think it's wrong. It might not be wise. It might not be wise, but trust me, I level with you. I'll say, you know, I understand, because there's so much. Now, as a man, listen, where you were supposed to be in your rightful position, like in my opinion is, police would have come and sought your counsel from your wisdom. Yeah? You understand what I'm saying? Police would have come and asked for your permission to enter your compound. Yeah? Not about you're going to work, which you don't want to be going to work early in the morning anyway, and then they want to criminalize you. What do you, these things lead seeds in people's subconsciousness. You know about epigenetics, yeah? Right, so epigenetics, for those that don't know, is like the theory that memories, pain, and all kinds of ideas are transferred through your DNA. Do you know what I mean? So, that being said, your mom and your dad was probably stressed, yeah? You was probably, all right. Big up.
Next question. It's gonna start to warm up now, even more so. Single parent households. You know when you read these questions out loud, you think, oh, I should have reworded this. Yes. Right, are mums to blame? Let me land, please. Let me land. Are mums to blame for the situation? Or is it that men, see, we balanced it, can't step up for their children? I would ask.
So, okay, it's pretty simple, isn't it? It's situational based, isn't it? Because you can't live in everybody's household, so you don't know what the man's doing and you don't know what the woman's doing. But I always say here, like, that the person that chooses to end the relationship or steps out, it's their fault. And they should try more. And they could have tried more, so then you can, everything you say, someone can, do you get what I mean, rebut it. But I think that, if I'm just gonna be really honest, with everything that we've talked about today, I think that we're just having children flimsily. We're not sitting down and having the deep conversations of, do we want children with this partner, and sitting down with your partner and deciding how you're going to raise the children, and if something goes wrong, how do we, how do we fix the issue? How do we fix the issue to stay together? What's the solutions? I think now everybody just into pointing, which the question is, pointing, oh, it's the men's fault, it's the woman's fault. No one's really coming up with solutions and how we should deal with situations and deal with conflict so we can keep families together. And I do think, here we go now, I am skewing towards that the men should be more leaders. Like, do you know what I mean? I am tired, and I like today because we have strong men on the panel.
Sorry.
We have strong men on the panel.
Sorry to interrupt you, I do apologise. But I could hear
secret click under the table.
Yeah, I could hear clickety click. Who's clickety clicking? Ah, okay. Alright, cool.
Hey girl, sorry. Yeah, but I just think here that, okay, I do understand that sometimes us women, we can go blah, 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 blah. But when a man speaks who is a leader, who we respect, you will understand, you will see, us women will sit down and listen, and we don't have enough of that. Jedi, you was just speaking, all of us women, if you looked around, was nodding at you and listening. And that always happens when you speak. Conspiracy, when you spoke. And no, everyone, a lot of women, are we saying, like, when a respectable man, and who is a leader, who is comfortable, and who is comfortable within themselves, and is not disrespectful, we as women will sit down because we want you to lead. You lot don't understand, we want men to lead, we want respectable men to stand up, talk for us, come to the school meetings, be by our side, we walk behind you and hold your hands. We like all of that, but where are they? Where are they? And that's what I'm saying. So, in that question, I think it's situational based, but I think men need to stand up and lead.
So, for me, I feel, who is a single parent? I agree with you to a degree, yeah? We are not living in the 1950s or the 60s anymore, where men were leaders at the time. I know some people will be looking at me thinking, yeah, but we're not in the 1950s or 60s anymore. No, we're not. Society today is based on technology and how influences and, what's phone is ringing? How influences and how whatever celebrities are doing the next best thing, and everybody wants to jump on that, yeah? For me, I feel like, if you have the conversations which you just explained, yeah, I feel like we have to take accountability on both sides. I don't just think it's just about women, and I don't necessarily think it's just about men. I thought if we have more conversations with our partners, when we're having children with them anyway, or child or whatever, to let you know like what it is that you're thinking, because I feel like when that person will, if it could be a woman or a man walking away from the situation, you're sitting there dumbfounded of why they've left and why they don't want to be a parent to that child anymore or whatever and move on. I feel like if there's certain conversations that you have with that person prior, I'm not saying that they're still not going to walk out because things happening at the end of the day, but I just feel there needs to be accountability from both sides. It's not just the man because he stepped out and he found someone else greener on the other side, that's that person's fault. I think it's both at the end of the day, but that's what I've got to say on the matter.
I feel this subject is extremely touchy. I was saying this to Converse just before we actually started. And the reason why is because I feel there's a massive change in how society actually changes due to women liberation back in the 70s. Unfortunately, women became independent. They became very much like, we can do it without you. And that is putting men in a situation where they don't know the place. There is, do you want me to say that again? Yeah, there is, I don't think I need to say it again, but I'll say it again. The problem that we have is women have become extremely believe that they're up there, and men don't know how to kind of catch. So the problem is understanding, you know, there's all these gender roles that have been lost, the feminists that they've gone over the top, which, yeah, the whole label thing, and then understanding that if we do want a man that is a leader for the relationship and be able to be a leader at home, leader outside, we have to calm ourselves down a little bit and get our feminine energy into the picture, so then a man will then know how to actually get the place into position, so then we wouldn't have the problems we have in nowadays. I don't think biologically, and excuse me, but biologically men are the way they are. Like, they will always want to go and do whatever they want to do, and women will always have that hormonal, but the problem that we're having is if we don't know our place and we keep believing we can do it without them, and we're still going on social media and there's nobody that's setting up an example as really being somebody that can help the women nowadays to be the same as with the men, unfortunately we're not going to get anywhere. So it's not that men don't know how to be leaders. I mean, I have my parents over here. They can maybe help us with a little bit of tips, but yeah, go on that. But yeah, I think we just need to find a little bit of yes, we can be independent, but we can also be there for our men, which I think women are requesting way too much from men nowadays. That's just my opinion.
So I'm going to go a bit deep with it, right? So if we look back just after the 1950s, after World War II, etc., what was happening was the divide of nuclear family. Okay, so let's put some context to this. There's 80 million people living in the UK currently, and say it was a nuclear family, one boy, one girl, one mum, one dad. Right? The way the system was set up fundamentally is the dad would be able to earn sufficient to be able to cater to his family. Even if he worked in a newsagents, Tesco's, wherever it is. What's happened is further on, there has been obviously first wave, second wave, and third wave feminism, which are changing things. There's certain elements with logic to why, women should be equal input, equal output, right? You do the same job as me, you should get paid the same. That's it, right? I don't like equal pay. If I'm better than you, I want more money, simple. But what's happened is you've now taken up the other 25% of that household and made them make an income. And then in infrastructure and technology and pharmaceuticals and other things have come into play. With the relevant infrastructure that's been put into today's society, the dependence of man has been then isolated, and the dependence of the nuclear family has been completely removed. I don't need you because the government will give me my rent for £60 a week, right? As an example, right? Do you see where I'm coming from? Make sense? So what's happened is also with things like single parent households, amongst other things as well, what you'll find is that men stop learning how to be leaders, right? Because they stop because who's teaching them, right? I grew up, my dad's a Rasta man, right? He taught me certain things. My mum taught me certain things. Equal value has made me the man that I am today. I've learned to be soft because of areas that my mum gave me, but my dad taught me stuff as a Rasta man. You don't need to be strong in certain principles and foundations. Fundamentally, it's allowed me to lead my children, etc., my mum, my aunts, everywhere that's in my family accordingly. Don't worry, get twisted. I still fail in some areas, but I always work on development of that. So when it comes to answering that question directly, it's multifaceted. Because some men are not learning how to be leaders. If they're raised by a single mum or a single dad, they may not know certain things. They're not balanced. It just makes sense. Society's effed. We are screwed. There's financial pressures amongst other things, and if you really don't want this man around, guess what? Society will tell you, if you put a man in your house, your rent now goes up to £2,000 a month, as an example, and there's a plethora of other different things. So it then becomes challenging. You see where I'm coming from? So in terms of answering this question directly, let's go back to it. Single parent households, are mums to blame for the situation, or is it men that need to step up? It works in both. It works in both. Someone will kick you out because the industry or the system, has set you up to wanting to kick you out because you don't need him. And alternatively, men, we do need to step up and take accountability and say, yo, I'm not having that. That's not what we're doing here. This is it. Let me show you our God. And that's it.
I'm going to speak to something you said as well, and I agree with you. I think some people don't know how economy works as well. It's like when feminism come about as well, to put women in workspaces, like you said, men took a pay cut, and those be the same women that say they want a man to earn 6 figures, over 6 inches, 6-pack, and then they wonder why they end up with a devil. But it's, for me, you put yourself in that space and then want so much from that individual. And speaking to what Ash and Tash was saying, I don't think that it's not men are leaders. Sometimes there's discourse within the household that women don't even recognize sometimes. For example, I'll speak to my household, Sometimes as kids we went to our mum, Fox can co-sign it. We'll say, can we get something from the cupboard? If we went to our dad and said, can we get something from the cupboard? Pop said no, we're gonna run to mum. Now if mum says yes, you've undermined him without even knowing you've done that. And then the kids are gonna grow up, leave home, and there's gonna be resentment there between both of you, because sometimes as parents, like I said before, the key word in parent is pair. The kids come after the fact. So you lot should always have that communication with each other on what you lot do to lead as parents. And speaking to the women in as well, remember, you lot become the babies for your babies. Remember that, it comes around full circle. So the same kids that you was changing their nappies, and you become that when you grow old in age. So you become the babies for your babies. And a lot of people don't understand that half of the women wouldn't be with the boy child that they're raising to be the man that he is today. So there's a lot to blame. Not saying, putting it on the women, but if majority of you are the primary parent in the situation, I know that's sad at default, but I'm saying half of you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with that same boy child that you're raising. You know what I mean? Personality-wise and everything, because you would deem him as weak, but you're babying him. Do you see what I mean? There's only so much a man could do and a woman could do. But I personally feel like it's circumstance. I don't feel like no one's to blame. It's based on the circumstance that everyone has in front of them, in my honest opinion.
So there's a few points for me. First, it's all about choices as well. So me, I have the mother for my children, she's amazing, right? She's the best ever. I couldn't even ask for a better mother. But the reason why, it was also my choice. I picked the right woman. And, we have to take accountability as well. And for male and females, because we need to make the right choices, right? So I knew that this woman would have been the perfect mother for my children. And when I made that decision and she agreed to that decision, she is the perfect mother for my children. So now I believe I'm raising amazing children, showing them, giving them, teaching them. She's teaching them the right way. I'm teaching them the right way. They're excellent. They're excellent kids. So I believe it's choices. I think that a lot of the times, and you know what, it's funny, because I was having a conversation recently with my uncle, because ethnic background is a big issue, and I'll tell you why. In, say, Asians, or in, like, say, Indians, right, or Chinese, if you see how a lot of them pick their children, their partners, right? So a lot of the times you see that parent will tee that person up or line that person up with that family, because that daughter over there, he knows that person. He said, you know what, that person's got a daughter over there. Let's meet the family, right? We as black people, right, we don't do that. I think we leave our children with too much options, right? Too much choices. They grow up, they go whatever university they want to go, do whatever they want. Yeah, I see, you know, my local corner shop, their kids come up to work in their shop, right? They work with them. They don't have a choice. And I know sometimes it's good to give our kids a lot of choices, but also it ferments and stabilizes them, yeah, when it comes to career and upbringing, because we don't do that. We don't do that. And the conversation I was having with my uncle is because he's extremely well off, and he spoiled the kids them from young, all the way until they're 15. They got everything. They got houses when they were 9, 8, 7. I'm talking about they got everything. And when they was 15, he told them, well, now you need to work as hard as I did, because you should just get everything free. What did the kids do? Run off, because they weren't used to that. They was getting everything free. So why now I need to come and work, right? Now they've all run off from him, right? And I think this is what we do, especially in the black families. We allow our kids too much options. They can do whatever they want to do without a guidance, without a complete guidance. And I think when it comes to growing up kids, guidance is everything, and direction is also everything. And this is why us as black people, we're so far behind, because we leave our kids to become and do whatever they want to do. And regarding that, that's why you have so many single parent households, because choices, we don't even know what woman or what man you should pick. Look at the type of females that a lot of us men go for. Yeah, nothing up there. Everything is body. Who's the body? Who is this? And come on, when you pick a girl like that, all you're gonna get is what? There's no substance. All you're gonna get is some booty, and that's it. You get that pregnant. She don't even know how to raise a kid herself. She's a kid herself. Yeah, and this has been our problem, and this is why in our generation there's so many single parents.
Thank you.
That debate